Yeah, it's incredibly unique on multiple levels, the way he wrote music, and I loved it. So the first gig was in Reseda, a place called the Country Club. It's not there anymore. It was a pretty big place, maybe, I don't know, six, 700 seat
Wow.
place, and it was
Okay, that's all.
packed.
Wow.
And I was like, I can't believe this great music with this incredible guitarist and like people, lots of people are showing up at that time. Um, Gary Husband was in the original IOU band,
Yeah.
and he had left to go back home to England, and so Alan started a band. He hired Jeff Berlin, and he was looking for a drummer. So I was through my friend John Ferraro, who also auditioned, but John was already doing a tour. He couldn't work with Alan, so he gave me his number and I auditioned. But the audition was just improvising for about an hour and a half, just
Woo.
duet, no bass player.
Oh man.
Because his thought was,
Mm.
well, anybody could learn tunes, but he was much more interested in the chemistry. And then I realized pretty quickly that he wasn't going to tell anybody anything because he didn't like to be told what to do. You know, he was in some bands, I think, in the past, um, where they were saying, do this, do this. No, I want you, don't do that. I want you to play this part. And he didn't enjoy that. You know, so in his band, it was all based on, it's almost like being a casting director, you know,
Yeah.
like picking the right actors that have some chemistry and create something together in an improvisational way. Because if you're not going to tell anybody anything, if you're not going to tell them no, it was like, well, I want to pick people who bring things to my music that I enjoy
Mm.
without telling them. So, you know, so yeah, it was like that. So the first gig was Jeff Berlin and myself, and then
Wow.
we toured. It was great. It was a thrill. It was just so open, and you know, and he was such a powerful player. Like sometimes he would start it depending on the songs, and you know, he played beautifully.
Yeah.
But some tunes he would take, like the start of his guitar solo might be at an intensity level that I was used to with another guitar player at the end of their solo. You know, it would start with this huge
Yeah.
intensity and
Yeah.
grow and grow and grow. So I thought, oh wow, okay, I've got to learn to pace myself, or figure out how to support this incredibly intense,
Yeah.
you know, like solo composition of these spontaneous. It was challenging, and he didn't. I could tell he didn't really want patterns played too much.
Hmm.
It wasn't a funk, you know, it wasn't like a fusion as far
Yeah.
as like R&B and jazz, which was kind of happening at the time on the radio and stuff. There was a lot of bands that were kind of almost like playing songs, but instead of vocalists, they'd have a sax or that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like that at all, you know. But
Best.
it was more. I thought was more kind of rooted in the Tony Williams lifetime
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
type of vibe. So I kind of started there as far as a reference, and then of course listened to the IOU record, which is a fantastic record. Then
Yeah.
from there we made the Road Games album with that band, and we toured a lot in the States, just very frugally, you know, Cadillac and a trailer.
Oh man, really? Oh wow.
Just yeah, with Steve Morris's band too. We did
Oh
a
man.
couple tours with his band as well.
Excellent.
Yeah, some fun days, hilarious stuff.
Yeah. Like, how did you keep fresh on those gigs? I mean, or even now, like on tour, that but especially with Alan, I guess, since you're more or less improvising all the time, like even within the tunes, right? Like, do you have a recipe still now, like how to reinvent yourself every evening? I mean, I have problems with that sometimes. When it's gig 12, I'm like, shit, man. With myself that I keep repeating myself, but maybe I'm not, and maybe that's who you are. Like,
Well, we were playing a lot of tunes, and Paul Williams was also in the band at the time. We had
yeah,
a vocalist,
yeah,
so there were songs, but you know, as you know, his songs were not typical. Like there would be like a song, but then Paul would leave the stage for the solos
yeah.
and stuff, and he'd come back and sing the end of it. So in between, it would get very adventurous. Yeah, and well, I think I learned pretty quickly that when you play with improvisers that are that strong, um, you know something's something great's going to happen. So
Mm.
there's no kind of urgency. You know what I mean? Like even if I stop, the other guys are going to create something beautiful.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, the trust factor.
Sometimes I could take the lead. Sometimes Allan would take the lead. Sometimes Jeff would take the lead. And the next band we had was with Jimmy Johnson on bass.
Yeah.
And then we made that Metal Fatigue record. I played on half of it, which actually was a demo, but Allan liked what we did, so he took our demo bass and drum parts, which I think we did in a day, maybe 2 days.
Wow.
And he worked on the guitars for a long time. And then Gary played on the other half of that record, and
yeah,
and on. Yeah.
Did he give you guys lead sheets, or how did he present tunes to you? No, right?
Played the guitar part.
Wow. Okay, that was it. Okay.
Yeah, so it was all just very open.
Wow.
Play what you want on top of it.
That's so cool. Amazing, man. Wow. Yeah. No, amazing. It's like I love hearing this because it's just when you listen to that music, it's amazing. And I love that you did.
It's wonderful music. It really is. Yeah. It's very special. There's nothing like it.
No,
and everybody in the band feels that very strongly that way too.
Yeah, exactly.
He had a really different way of course, approaching harmony. He had a different way of approaching time. I mean, it just really interesting musical form. People analyze it now and they're just amazed. It's wild. Great modulations.
Oh man, like